Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the Creative Hearts Show. We have a very special guest backstage. We're super excited to bring her out and hear her story. Before we do, let's bring the creative genius and brainchild of this program out. She's also the author of this wonderful book, Star Child. And she is a very dear friend. She's joining us from London. Let's welcome Dr. Madalene Chan.
Hey, hello, Dr. JACALYN. Hello, everybody. I'm good. I'm really well. I'm having a good day today. I mean, I always have good days, but today's been a very good day.
I'm super glad to hear that. That's excellent. And, you know, this journey that you and I are taking together from not knowing each other at all, and you came on to be interviewed almost 2 years ago, I think, and we've become soul sisters, and we're working on the Lady Alla book series together, the Creative Hearts series. Now we have the Creative Hearts Women in Business Mastermind group. I'm not sure where it's going to go.
I think we are creative soul sisters. Definitely creative.
Definitely. Well, I do want to just give a little shout out to another person who's going to be in our Creative Hearts Awakening book, and that would be Alla, who is the phenomenal American soldier who's also a songwriter and wrote a song for me that you shared with me yesterday, Woman on Fire. So we're going to be collaborating on that as well. So thank you, Alla K. Barrier.
Yeah, thanks, Alla. You're the man. Amazing.
Dr. Chan, I'm going to spotlight you. If you could just tell us briefly about your background and why you are so passionate about Creative Hearts Awakening.
Okay, thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Myself, I've been a singer and songwriter for the last 3 decades, really, and I'm very passionate about helping people to bring out their creative heart, meaning bringing out their confidence, their expression, their story in a song, for example, or to teach them to express their voice. I think it's very important now for people to awaken to their creative heart, to get onto their path, get their journey, because that's what's going to make the world. The world was born through creativity, and through creativity will be peace on earth and love.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, I want to bring in our guest, and I always like to just give a little background about how we get connected, because people are coming to this platform on their own volition by Googling, or they were referred. So we have a show on Fridays called The Power of Etiquette and Manners. We are in partnership with the British School of Excellence and Mr. Philip Sykes, the principal and founder of the school. And he has a Train the Trainer program to teach people how they can be etiquette coaches. And so we had a program not that long ago, and this person who's backstage also became my client of the week. She is so dynamic, what she is putting out into the world. She has a beautiful soul, and she has a beautiful story she's going to share with us today. Her name is Alla K. Gross, and she's the founder of Luxall School of Etiquette and Manners. Let's bring her out and hear her story. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, welcome, Alla.
Thank you. I would like to say thanks to both of you, Dr. JACALYN and Dr. Madalene, for inviting me and giving me this amazing opportunity to talk about the Heart Awakening and share my personal journey with the audience and with the world.
Thank you so much. I am so impressed with your background. I had the privilege of having a one-on-one conversation with you, and you are so multifaceted in so many ways. You've had an amazing journey with ups and with challenges that you've had to overcome. And I said this to you before, you look at you, you're a beautiful woman, you're intelligent, you're well dressed, and you would think she's never had anything that she's had to deal with in her life, but quite the opposite. So your creative heart has awakened and bloomed and awakened and bloomed. So thank you for being part of this book series. What would you like to tell us about your creative heart?
Well, I want to say that I'm not different from anybody else. I had my ups and downs, as we all had, and I owe it, and I'm proud of it. And that's what makes all of us interesting and different. And each of us learn and go through our own lessons. And I'm sure that each lesson, good or bad, makes us better human beings. And we all evolve into something much bigger, and we grow every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely agree. Definitely. That's why we're here, isn't it? That's why we're
Yes.
here in the world. Yeah.
Yes.
To grow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One of the things I think is so interesting about you, in that, to me, it's such an incredible achievement, and you did it for so many years. But when I spoke to you about being in the book Creative Hearts Awakening, I thought you were going to focus on that. And yet, no, that was not what you wanted to focus on. Tell the audience what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about my music degree?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Well, I've done many things in my life, and it is a huge part of me, but I was always interested in finding my passion, finding my purpose. So each thing that I was doing in my life, it's a stepping stone to build the bridge to where I am today. Yes, that's the answer to your question.
And for Dr. Chan and for our audience, Alla is a concert pianist. How long did you play the piano professionally?
Yes, so I played the piano ever since I was 4, and it's been a huge part of my journey. I was ever since I was 5. So I started playing piano at 4, but ever since I was 5, I was a student in a world-known music school for gifted children. It was a boarding school. I was not living there as a boarding student, but because it wasn't in my city, I had the chance to go back home and sleep in my house. But in the morning, I had to go back to these extensive 7, 8, 9 hours of training during the day. And this school was very competitive based. We had very vigorous entrance examination. And my whole life, I was the years I was establishing myself as a human being, as a teenager. When I was growing up, I was always surrounded by exceptional professionals in music, in education, in literature, and art. And yes, I was there for 11 years. That was my music stepping stone. And then after graduation, I went to university to do my bachelor's in piano performance. 4 years later, I'm graduating. And so because I was always pushing myself out, and I was always interested to explore the world, I'm moving to Canada, to an amazing university, University of Western Ontario, where I was doing my master's in piano performance. And after that, I was teaching piano and working with amazing talents at that time. So whoever is watching me from that part of the world, from my Canadian university, I want to say hello to all of you.
I'm astounded, honestly. I mean, the fact that you've attained a master's and in concert pianist, I mean, I mean, you could actually, do you teach as well? Have you made that?
Yes. So I was teaching gifted and talented pianists at that time. But for personal reasons, I'm moving to New York. And at that time, my son is born, and I'm getting very involved in children's development. I started being very interested in psychology, children's psychology, and how brain works and how children developing. And I decided to get my second degree, which was special education. I'm getting master's in special education in one of the New York colleges at that time. And for 5 years after that, I'm working with children with different disabilities and cognitive impairments. And my main concentration was on music therapy mainly. And I decided to combine both degrees, music and education, special education training, and helping children to connect and develop their social skills.
Did I tell you she had an
Phenomenal.
amazing background? Or
I'm absolutely, yeah, I'm amazed. I mean, it's phenomenal, the fact that with the children, that you're working with the children, and you've got a second degree, degree, child psychology.
What I'd like to know is, I played the piano for 10 years. I took lessons for 10 years. I have no formal education in music at all. What value did you find that formal education gave you in regards to your skill set and your concert pianist playing?
Skill set for life. I think personally, and I always encourage every parent to really make your child involved in any, it doesn't have to be music, but it has to be any form of art, because it really works on your creativity, and through play, you're really finding your passions, you're finding your grounds, you really get this set of skills to perform, because life is, most of the time, we have to, no matter how bad or good your day was, you get to work and you have to perform. And that skill to get on the stage and perform on the stage, no matter how well you slept or how well your breakfast was, you just have to collect yourself and go and do it. That's the skill I took. And it really helps me to get through many things in my life, because I really know how to work, because formal music training, it's your life. You don't know anything else but that. You train, you play the piano for 8-9 hours a day. That's the only thing you know. So the skill of dedication and being able to show your best, that's the skill that I took away from my music education.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, me too. I do. I mean, Alla, going back to the children, in the way that you were saying, creativity art is absolutely important. It's imperative for children to explore their creativity, because they go to school to learn their intellectual, but then when they explore their creativity, they develop their feeling side of life, their feelings. Right. So it's interesting that you've brought this up. I think it's phenomenal. And the fact that you have psychology, you said psychology?
I don't have a formal training.
Okay. Sorry.
No, but when you do special education, you have classes on children's psychology, of course, because you need to understand how the brain works and how people think.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Oh, I have another question about the music as well as children, and then we'll go on to another chapter of your life. So what I'm wondering is, with the focus and the determination and the dedication of having to show up day after day, 8 or 9 hours, there must have been some things that you missed out on. There must have been some things that you maybe felt upset that you didn't get an opportunity to do. So based on your own experience, how can children still engage in learning music, but maybe not having it be so on command, on demand, and with an entire focus that's required?
Well, it depends what your goal is. my goal was to become a professional musician. And no matter what kind of profession you choose, you have to really need to put yourself into it. And to be the best, you have to really spend time on it. But for just regular general development, any form of art, you don't have to spend so many hours of it on it. It can be 20 minutes, 10 minutes a day is enough. So it depends what your goal is in life.
Yeah, great answer.
I just wanted to ask, you said you started, Alla, playing piano at 5 years old. What inspired you to play piano at 5? Was it actually you, or was it your parents?
Of course, it was my parents, because at 5, what do you know?
Tinkering on a plastic piano.
But my parents were always concentrating the whole family effort on education. And that's why I have many different degrees, because that's how I was brought up. One degree is not enough. You have to make more than that. And actually, at the age of 3, I am becoming an actress in one of the musical theaters in my hometown. And yes, I was on stage since I was 3, and we had singing lessons, we had music lessons, we had acting lessons, and then we had to get on the stage and say all the lines that we learned. So that's how I started. But because I was, at that time, not today, I was singing well, my parents decided to try me to take this test, and maybe I would pass exam to this gifted and talented school that I was mentioning in the beginning of our conversation. And I was admitted to this school. That's how it all started.
Well, thank you. I think it's lovely just having supportive and loving parents, and they saw into you, they guided you and saw that you were a child protege, can we say? A child protege.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So, Alla, at some point, you made the decision to go a different way, to put your music aside, to get off the piano bench and go do something else. Can you share a little bit more about what happened and what made you decide to move on?
To move on, yes. At that point of time, I'm meeting my husband, and he lived in California. And for personal and family reasons, I'm moving to California to live with him. And he was raising 2 little boys. At that time, they were 5 and 6, and my son was 4 and 4. So at that time, I'm becoming suddenly a mom of 3 little cute boys, 4, 5, and 6. And that was a training of my lifetime, honestly. I used to think that my music career was a training of my life. No, that was a really test. It was hard. Blended family, different cultures, different languages. And I had to be this stepmom that I've never been. It's hard. One thing, you're the teacher in a classroom, and you go home and you relax. Here you're constantly, somebody's watching you. And what I realized at that time, that my training in communication skills is important. That's what I need. And it was very hard to connect with little children and being their mom. But today I'm finally rewarded. I'm a mom of 3 amazing little, not little anymore, they're little for me, teenage boys. And they're my best friends and my biggest support. And what I do today, it's actually because of them.
Ah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Dr. Chan and I are both without children, so we don't know. But so you are now an entrepreneur, and you are soon to be an author. What is it about etiquette and manners and social protocol that is so important to you that you decided you want to make this the focal point of what you're doing in your career?
Right. So what happened, I started helping my children on social skills and etiquette. And because I felt that it's very important for them, and I learned that it's not important not only for them but to their peers and adults. And it turned out into business, and I just realized that we all need it. And me being in my elementary school, my middle school, my high school, I had the formal training of etiquette and manners. But what I found that my children never been exposed to that. And I felt that there is a need to develop a system for the children to have access to it. So that's how it all started.
At the time, did it feel like it was going to be a hobby, or when did you realize, wow, this can be a full-time career?
So when I mentioned my children, it was hard. It's hard to teach your children manners and etiquette. But when I felt a reward, and when I felt, because now they're teenagers and they're starting dating girls, and they're more exposed right now to all the social settings, and they're invited to different dance parties. They have so many questions. They always ask me, let's say if I'm inviting a girl, who is paying, who is taking the check? And then let's say if we're arriving in a taxi somewhere, how do I open the door? And if the door is revolving, what should I do? If we're using staircase, who's going up on the top and who's going at the bottom? So all these little things that I was trained, they never been exposed. So I decided to write a manual for them, how it actually should look. And then my eldest one said, Alla, you need to write a book. And that's how it all started.
I love that.
TikTok, you need to get on Facebook, you need, because we all will watch it, because we all need it.
Yeah.
There is no person who is accessible, and we will just learn from him.
They were really good questions, by the way, because I was thinking, I wonder what the answer is to that.
Yeah, I mean, I find it amazing that your teenage boys are actually asking these questions. Who goes up the stairs first on the revolving door? Who is? I mean, I've never come across it.
Trust me.
No, a lot of
they all want to be. They all want to be the best version of themselves. And especially when it's a first date, you want to show you're the best character. Yes. So.
I'm assuming with the revolving door, the woman goes first. I'm not sure, but just a quick digression. When I was in corporate, my boss and I were calling on a pharmaceutical client, and you had to go through this revolving door, and it would stop after each person. And they did some kind of scan. So it stopped on me, and it never moved. And I was stuck in there for over an hour. Let me get there. I wish you had gone first.
Oh my gosh.
The rule is, it depends who is the second person is. Let's say if you're inviting a person, you have to make sure that the door is not stuck and moving. And sometimes you can even do a second round, making sure that this person left the revolving door circle.
So they have to get out first then? Of the
revolving. No, you mean, let's say if it's a boy and a girl, a woman and a man, let's say the woman is invited, right? Because it depends if it's a professional setting, it's completely different, because gender doesn't matter. But let's say if it's a woman and a man, and the man is inviting the woman, so he goes first, she goes second, but then he's doing the second round. Make sure that she left.
He's staying in there to make sure. I love that.
But what happens, I know this is me just thinking, because my mind goes a bit too movie sometimes. Maybe the guy goes first also because there could be danger at the other side.
Correct.
So almost like they're protecting.
Correct.
And
yes.
But in business, it doesn't matter.
Gender doesn't matter. Let's say if you're in business inviting a man, you are going to be the party that's going to push this door for him.
Okay, got it.
I really know my revolving doors now. I'll be looking at the way that people are going into revolving doors.
Yeah, it's interesting topic, and I always say that the etiquette and manners, they really help you to make people make person looked after. You know,
Yes,
it's about
yes.
kindness and politeness. Once you know
Definitely.
the rules, you can nail it.
We do have a comment from Gaffa Brumley Preci, watching live. Happy to see you all. Thank you for watching us. And Gaffa is in Ghana.
Hey, Gaffer.
Happy to have
Hello.
you here with us. So how are you, when you think about what's going on in the world today, and maybe you want to share a little bit about your background, how are you feeling that we're showing up as a global community in terms of honoring people with integrity and respect?
Yes, the world is a turmoil right now, as we all know, and I'm originally from Ukraine, and unfortunately, we have a war going on in the country, and our hearts are bleeding right now because basically that's the war, the first war that we are capable of watching live and see these horrendous crimes that are happening because people just post it and it's all broadcasted. And unfortunately for all Ukrainians, this war is something that we will never forget and never forgive. And I hope that the war criminals will pay for it. That's the message, and that's the lesson we all learned today. But we, at the same time, we're very, very grateful for the whole world to support Ukrainians and to support the country. And all countries and each individual who raised money and flew to the borders and helped to adopt these children who lost their parents, and all these families that host other families. And refugee support is amazing right now. And thank you to the whole world, because support is so important.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think you hit on some really important points that we need to look out for each other wherever we are in the world. And so that's why I feel that etiquette and manners is even more important today than it ever was. And the fact that you're working with young people to instill these ideas and what becomes natural and normal, I feel like that's a way of helping to facilitate peace in the world. What do you think?
Yes, it's all about kindness and politeness. There's so much hatred and depression going on. We really need to make sure that the next generation that's gonna we're raising the children right now. That's our future. We want to make sure that the future for this whole world is on much peaceful level. We really need to heal, all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I totally agree. I think just not just heal, but just purify as well, so that when these children grow up, there's nothing about war anymore. War doesn't even exist anymore. They don't send brothers and sisters over there to war. I think it, as Dr. JACALYN said, it all begins with etiquette and manners. Respect. Yeah.
Yes. Respect to tradition, respect to cultures, languages. Yeah. You have to really understand, to learn from each other, and open your heart. Make your heart awaken.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
it.
Good tie-in. I think it's so important that we all have a healthy curiosity and want to learn about each other. If you think about it, we talk a lot about this on this platform about children, how innocent they are and how they're so wide-eyed and curious about everything. And then at some point, somebody older tells them not to do this or not to be with him or her, and then things start to change. But if we had more of that childlike curiosity where we could respect and appreciate and just want to know more about each other, I think that would be amazing.
I absolutely agree. There's no fear as well. When you're a child, there's no fear. They don't think of fear. They're curious, as you said, Dr. JACALYN. Yeah.
Yes.
We should all be children again. That's it. The essence.
But unfortunately, coming back to Ukrainian topic, all these children who saw with their and who experienced with their eyes these terrible things, they're not children anymore. You look into their eyes and you understand that they really need to heal. But how do you even help? Hopefully, they will all grow out of it, learn something. But it's hard. It's very heartbreaking to
You're
watch.
so right. It's their childhood was taken away from them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We just have to become examples and prepare the world and clean it and cleanse it for them, so that when they are older, hopefully they won't have the wounds with them, the wounds of the war.
Yeah, or maybe they will learn through this lesson, and this wounds becomes their pillar in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, good point. Alla, you have a chapter that's going to be in this book, Creative Hearts Awakening, that's being released October the 12th of this year. What would you like people to take away from your chapter and your story?
Don't betray yourself. Don't betray your dreams. Don't betray your heart, because there are lots of things in life that happen that there's always going to be something that's going to put you down, that's going to break you. And I had really heartbreaking stories in my life that broke me, and you grow from it, and you find your strengths, and you really, really put yourself together. And life is so short, and the next day cannot even happen. And you always have to remember about it, and just don't betray your dreams. Just go for it and do things. Everything you've been dreaming about, because you will regret.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Honestly, that is, I just love that. Don't betray your dreams. Everything. It's a book in itself.
Alla, if you would share with our audience, because there are many people suffering, as we were just talking about Ukraine and the war and children seeing horrific things. Sometimes when we experience a loss, we don't know how to move forward. We don't believe we're even worthy of having dreams. And you've known a lot of loss. How did you pick yourself up and move forward knowing that your heart was broken?
Yes, these last 13 months of my life, they've been, I was broken. I still don't know how I put myself together, but I lost my mother, I lost my brother, the war, and a month ago I lost one of the biggest support here in San Diego for me, my mother-in-law. She was so amazing to me. She was my second mother. And yes, at some point you realize that you don't have a foundation anymore. You don't have your support system. You don't have your family. And yes, I do have my amazing husband. I'm very grateful for him and my 3 children. But I'm talking about something that's been your pillar in life, your DNA, your parents, and how I personally heal from loss. Well, the first thing, you really have to allow yourself to grieve, because you cannot hide it. You cannot run away from it. You cannot make yourself busy, start doing things. It's always going to be somewhere in your head. So you really have to allow yourself to cry, to go through emotions. It's okay. It's okay to be. That's how you heal. But the biggest problem with grief, what I also realized, it never leaves you. It's always there. So very important to give yourself time frame. Let's say if you want to stay home, cry, and just don't get out of bed, just give yourself time. Okay, I'm going to do it for a month. I'm going to do it for 2 hours. Whatever comfortable for you. It's different for everybody. But it's very important to let yourself do that, but give yourself a time frame. And that's how I personally managed and still managing. And trust me, there are moments that I come back to it, and there are days that I cannot get out of the bed because it hits something, reminds you of your mom, your dad, your brother, your mother-in-law. There's always something. The music, the smell, the food, or somebody said something, or just you saw a dream. But yes, just let yourself do it. But next day, next month, just get out and do things, because life is so short. And I know that I would probably regret if I wouldn't follow through and I wouldn't follow my dreams.
Thank you so much for your transparency and your honesty. And it sounds like what you're saying is that you have to set boundaries, that yes, you are grieving, but at some point you have to say, I've got to get up. I've got to move on. I've got to explore. I've got to be curious, even though you're still weighed down with the pain of the loss.
Correct. Because you need to realize that grief never leaves you. It's always been in your heart. And that's the lesson. And you have to grow with this lesson. You have to take out, you have to learn about self. You really burn, like you burn completely. It's the person you were before, you're not the person anymore. And even the circle of people who surround you, they completely change. Because you're not the same anymore. You don't have common interests anymore. And it's okay. It's okay to be this way, and that's the progression of life. That's how we evolve into something else.
Such a great point that you made. And I think during the pandemic, people suffered so many different types of losses, and their circle of friends, their sphere of influence, maybe it all changed. And for some, they accepted it. They said, yes, okay, I'm going to move on. And for others, there's a lot of anger and questioning, why isn't she still friends with me, or why is this happening? And yet we don't have answers, but we have to keep moving on.
Yeah, I agree. It's a process. It really is, as what you said, Alla. It's definitely a process, and to be kind and patient with yourself. You have to be patient and not try to rush the whole grieving process. Like some people do, they rush it. And they think, oh, I've done 2 days, that's it. And then they go back into the full swing of work, and then that's it. That's when they end up cracking up or nervous breakdown.
That's true. That's true. And for me, very important part of the grieving process, if you're lucky to find the person who you trust to, the person who you can open up. It can be your friend, it can be your neighbor, or it can be psychologist. For me, it was my amazing psychologist who really helped me to go through these stages, and I'm forever grateful to her. And it's very important to have somebody next to you.
Yeah,
who you can share with. And listen, it can be even your blog. You can write about it. And trust me, there are so many people who are going through the same things. We're all the same. We have exactly the same feelings, all of us. Just share. Never be afraid of sharing, because we're all living here and we're all learning.
Very true. And I think support groups are great also. And even writing a book about your experience, that can be helpful as well. As we come to the end of the show, I'd love for you to share with our audience about the School of Etiquette and Manners. How can you work with clients, and are you accepting new clients?
Yes, we do accept clients, and I'm having some very exciting news to share. I'm having my book. Hopefully it's going to launch by the end of August. We're finishing it right now. I'm also recording an online course for teenagers, and it's going to complement the book when not everybody wants to read the book today. Unfortunately, not every teenager, but some videos I'm sure they would love to watch. It's going to be a very interactive experience. And there is something else I'm working on right now. We are creating a theater play musical that's gonna implement whatever we teach in the book, whatever we're gonna teach in the online course. We will make the theatrical experience, musical experience for the teachers, for the students, for the audience, for the teenagers, about etiquette. So you can become either part of it in the theater setting, or you can become an audience.
Wow.
I love it. I love
Super.
it. It's fantastic.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'm talking about it.
Oh, wow.
You heard it live here. Well, we'd love to have you come on our book show, the Corner Bookstore. We also have a show that's anything and everything that has to do with helping children. So we would love to have you come back and join us again. We do have your banner up, but if you could share with people who are unable to read it, what is the best way to reach out?
Yes, the best way to reach out is through social media. It can be Instagram. The name of the school is LuxAll. It's WLUWXAWL. And my email is Alla, A-L-L-A, at luxal.com. I also have my personal Instagram and LinkedIn profile. You can just contact me and share your thoughts. I would love to hear what maybe we will also work together on something interesting. I'm always looking for amazing opportunities to collaborate with. There are so many talents out there.
Absolutely. That's what we're
Yes.
all about here.
Mhm.
And I just want to let people know the name of the school. I'm going to spell it. It's LLUXXALL. Luxall School of Etiquette and Manners. So please do reach out to Alla. She is a wealth of information. She's a beautiful heart. She's a creative heart awakening. You'll be able to read her chapter in this book when we launch it in October. Any final words, Alla, before we wrap up for today?
Yes, I would like to just thanks everybody who was listening. And again, Dr. JACALYN, Dr. Madalene for inviting me and being interested in me and just giving me this opportunity to share my story and my expertise. And I just want to say to all my audience that we're here to help you to be ready in any possible situation that's going to confront you in life, and just be yourself.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Alla, I love your compassionate soul. I love your compassion. I really do. And I love your dedication and just your story. It's phenomenal. It really is.
Thank you very much.
It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Chan, how can people
Yeah.
reach out to you, and who would you like to contact you?
I would like anyone that wants to be in contact with, to connect with their heart, with their creativity, with their voice, so they can express and become a higher version of the highest potential of themselves. Anyone can contact me on MadaleneCarolChan@gmail.com. That's MADALENECAROLCHAN @gmail.com. And I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook as well. So I am absolutely looking forward to hearing anyone that wants a song written about their life, and also who wants to finally connect to their soul heart. I'm there for you. Contact me.
Thank you so much. And I just want to close out with a quick message so that people understand what Songs for You, Dr. Madalene's organization, what they'll do. So they have a team of people, one of whom, Aldi, wrote a song for me, Woman on Fire. And so now I will go ahead and work with Dr. Chan, taking more vocal lessons. We will have somebody write the music, and then Songs for You will mix and master and publish, release this single out to the world. So you don't have to be a professional singer. You can just be someone who has a message to share, a song to sing. And that's what we're doing here. So thank you for that.
Create the dream.
That's
Create
right.
the dream.
All right, we're signing off for right now. Our next show is coming up. It's A Woman's Prerogative. And Alla, you should come and join us on that show, either today or another time. It's a lot of fun. So we'll be right back after this. Alla, thank you for being such a fabulous guest. It was lovely having you. And thank you, Dr. Chan.
Oh, thank you, Alla. Thank you, Dr. JACALYN.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.